We had some containers that we bought at the bee store.
That's right.
And we filled them up with beautiful, wonderful honey.
Yes.
Around here this spring, the locust trees were absolutely full. The clover was everywhere. The white clover was everywhere. So that's kind of what you see and taste in that. This recipe that you're getting ready to do, the honey that you see over there almost looks like dark syrup.
Yes.
And that's probably fall tree honey. But that being said, Nikki's going to make something now that's one of my favorite things. When I think about honey recipes, I think about
Baklava, always.
How do you think baklava came around? How old do you think that recipe is?
I don't know. Do you?
You know, we've been looking at the Roman Empire, studying the Roman Empire. If you go way back to like 160 BC, Cato the Elder, he was a historian who really gave all kinds of information about Roman life during that period of time. They made something called a placenta cake. Not the way you're thinking about it, but they would take like layers of dough, honey, cheese, bay leaves, put that all together and pour some honey on the top.
That sounds good.
And they would make a dish called placenta cake. I can think of better names, but they think this was one of the forerunners for baklava, which was all through the Ottoman Empire later. So anyhow, that being said, Mrs. Farmer, how do you make your beautiful, wonderful baklava?
When I make it probably different than a lot of people, and this is kind of the way our family does it. Most people, I use just honey, pure honey. A lot of people, they make a honey, they add water and sugar and lemon and they bring it all down. No, we're using pure honey over the top, and that's how we like it.
Your baklava, now we've tried it every day. You have Greek heritage, and this is something passed down to you. But we've had it every different way in the world, but this is one of my favorite baklavas. So if you will, walk us through that, Ms. Farmer.
And also something different we do, people use walnuts, we don't. I use almonds and pecans in ours. And it's pretty simple. All right, what I'm gonna do, being I have, you could get chopped up nuts yourself, but I had whole almonds. So I'm gonna start with those because those are full.
I think they're better when they're fresh anyway.
Yeah, they are. Woo! There, those are kind of chopped up. Now I have pecans that were kind of chopped up, but I want them a little bit more. So we could get those chopped. And I actually had a half a cup of almonds and a half a cup of pecans.
Yum.
Because we're making a smaller dish today. You can make a 9x13, but I'm gonna make kind of a half batch so we don't, because we'll eat it all if I made too much.
We will.
That's right. All right, so I have this. Now the only thing I'm gonna add to this is I have some cinnamon here. And I'm gonna do, this is about 1/4 of a teaspoon I'm gonna throw in here myself. And you can do whatever you want if you like a little more taste.
Ooh, I like cinnamon.
Yeah. And I put nutmeg. And I'm gonna do about 1/4 of that.
Cinnamon's good for you, you know.
That's right. And now I'm gonna put a whole tablespoon of sugar.
Okay.
And this is gonna be our mixture that goes between all of our layers. And that's it for this. All right, I'll put this aside. And now I bought phyllo dough. You can buy it at the store. You get 2 packs. We're only gonna use 1 pack today. If you were doing a 9x13 2-pack, we are only gonna need 1.
So this is just a layered thing?
Yes, it is. We're gonna layer. Now I also have a 1.5 stick of butter, which we're gonna go ahead and heat up, because I'm gonna use that. We're gonna be brushing that between our layers. All right, my phyllo dough. Like I said, I'm only needing 1 for this. And this stuff is, it's like paper almost. In fact, I like to eat it. And it just like melts in your mouth. And you actually buy this in the frozen section. It is frozen. And you let it set out overnight, because if it was frozen, you wouldn't be able to do this. See how it's nice and pliable right now? And we want to work fast too, because it dries out. Yeah. But I'm gonna cut these in half. And it's not gonna fit perfect, but this you just kind of play with it and we'll butter it. And
you can, if one of them's off the left, you bring it back right.
And our butter's getting close. So this is the tedious part. We're gonna peel these apart one at a time, and we're gonna go, and I'm gonna do 2 at a time. And see how they're a little bit, see how it rips? It doesn't matter. So I'm just kind of, see how I'm just folding them over. It's not gonna be perfect. I'm gonna take my butter, and we're just gonna continue to do this. I wanna get 10 pieces in.
All right, you think about this. You think about butter, and you think about honey, and you think about nuts.
Can't go wrong.
What possibly could go wrong?
That's right. And I want to get about, and I'm just going to switch them back and forth and see how they're up a little. I'm just going to fold them over. And we're actually going to put 10 pieces in before we do our nut mixture. You could do 9 or 10. We're going to do
So that's kind of your base.
Yes. And I'm just doing 2 at a time because it's easier. We're going to, for me, instead, you could butter between each one, but I do between every 2. Because believe me, we're going to have plenty of butter.
Now, we're going to preheat our oven to what?
We're going to go 325 for 45 minutes.
325 for 45 minutes.
That's right. And then we're going to let it sit. Usually if you let it sit for about 2 to 3 hours, it's easier and better to eat. If you try to, you could do it right away, but it's kind of gooey. We're gonna take about 1/3 of this mixture. I got my little baby spoon here. Now I like to cut this first too. We're gonna make this, and this is actually gonna be, I'm gonna go 5 by 5. These are gonna be 25. This is gonna give us 25 pieces of baklava.
25 pieces for me? What are you gonna have?
I will get nothing. All right, here's where I just go crazy with the honey. Now see how they're cut too, so it's gonna kind of drizzle in between. And I'm just gonna take and use a bunch of honey.
You're not even messing around.
No, I'm not. And as this cooks, this is gonna go through everything and go in the cracks. Now we're gonna let this cook.
Okay.
And you know it's gonna puff up as it cooks, and the honey's gonna ooze in there, and it's gonna be delicious.
All right, you want me up in the oven?
I would like you to, thank you.
Are you excited?
This is my favorite.
You go.
I could eat these all day long.
I bet I could take a little bit in right there. I bet I could put the whole thing in my mouth. I'm gonna get me a little honey in there.
Wow.
I'll put some of our clover honey on here.
Wow. These are not gonna last. We'll eat all of these. Like, if you don't put them away within an hour, they'll be gone. What do you think?
That's so good. Kelly said something a minute ago, and it's funny because you make this around Christmas time.
Right.
When I ate into that, I heard, the first Noel.
Are you gonna
Heard
blow
Christmas
You're
music.
gonna blow the Christmas horn. I can decorate.
Not yet.
Okay. I was
Not yet.
excited.
But let me tell you what. Oh.
I know.
Oh.
These are my favorite dessert in the whole world.
Baklava with our honey. I want to thank Sarah for coming out,
That's
helping
right.
us with our honey. And it's so sad that the half hour has flown away.
Yes.
That being said, if you would like a recipe like this, where would you go, Mrs. Farmer?
I go to timfarmerscountrykitchen.com.
I've been there before.
Have you?
Back in the 70s.
Okay.
Also, we have a Facebook page. We'd like to see you there. How hard is it to get on there, Mrs. Farmer?
You hit like.
Whoa, I like that.
I got it.
We're working hard doing brand new shows for you. Coming up very shortly. We got some really cool stuff you want to see.
I know.
But at this time, we're going to wrap it up by saying it's all about
Good times
good friends.
and good eats.
We'll see you next week with a brand new Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen.